This audio clip is about manifesting what you want. This is a topic that too many feel that they don't have the power to get what they really want. I really think it's because of the fact that you don't know what you really want. One thing that I have proven in my life is that when I truly want something, I know many of you can relate to this. When you truly want something, you will do everything in your power to get it, and nothing gets in your way. When something does get in your way, there's nothing that can tell me any difference. You don't want it. It's not something you care about enough. Whenever manifestation is brought up in any type of spiritual conversation, somebody will always say, well, I want the winning lottery numbers. Or, not even that, I just want to be a millionaire. But yet, you have to ask yourself, do you even take the time to go play the lottery? Most don't. Do you have a job that could at least make some money? Most basically just complain about their job or their career. So it's like, so how are you ever going to accomplish in getting that money? Instead, a lot of people are just envious of others who are on that path or who already have worked for it and who have it. I want that car. I wish I had a bigger house. I wish I had a better car. I want to be able to travel the world. It seems to be, especially when it comes on to like Facebook, especially on social media, people are always posting things about wanting better things. I mean, realistically, you shouldn't follow the Joneses, but I'm not going to question. There's nothing wrong with having nicer things in life. But here's the thing you have to realize. They're things. And honestly, they're really not hard to get if you want them. So I ask of you, please take a moment, just a few seconds of silence. And I ask of you, think of the times in your life that you decided you really wanted something. You wanted to date someone. You wanted a new item. Something that you really put your mind to more than usual, and that you actually got very, very quickly. Think about that for a second. Surprisingly, there should be a few. Now, honestly, there's going to be more things that you asked for that you didn't receive. I can also think of those too. But here's the thing. I would put it out there and say, wow, I wish I had that motorcycle that just drove by. Wow, I would love that motorcycle. Did I visit a dealership? Did I even find out how much those motorcycles cost? No, because in my mind, I already wrote it off as it's unaffordable. So basically it comes down to, again, you really didn't want it because you didn't show the initiative to look into it, because that's what it's really all about. It's really about creating the energy towards getting that to the point that you have it, you already own it. You're fantasizing about it because you see yourself on that motorcycle or in that new car, to the point that you go to the dealership, you speak to the dealers. You don't have to have any money. And I know this sounds crazy, but again, think about the times that you've wanted things in your life that you are so focused and so gung-ho that it was almost as if you had it. And before you knew it, you had it. To me, the secret is the conscious mind. The conscious mind is the part of your mind that is responsible for the logic and reasoning. The subconscious mind is the part of your mind responsible for all of your involuntary actions. Your subconscious mind is also the place where your beliefs and memories are stored. That's why affirmations really make no sense and can never improve your beliefs. Affirmations are done on a conscious level and are filtered by the subconscious mind. Did you get that? Now think about that. Affirmations are done usually on a conscious level. So you say them and you say them and you say them, and if it really doesn't connect to your subconscious mind, it's not going to do anything. So the problem is the affirmation that you're trying to repeat over and over in your conscious mind just really doesn't match your belief system. So if I'm a lazy piece of shit and I'm not willing to do anything, and I know it, I'm just lazy, I'm not a hard worker, and I start telling myself, you're going to run a big company, you're going to become a multi-millionaire, you're going to have all this stuff. Well, I could repeat that over and over in my conscious mind. My subconscious mind is like, no, you're a lazy piece of shit. And you're not even one to like wake up and make a phone call. You're not one to like go out and involve yourself in a meeting or make connections with people. So again, that's when people say you can do anything you want, but you have to be realistic. So it's like, it's like that old thing. I remember when I was growing up, everybody used to say, like, when you're a kid, you see the commercials on Saturday morning cartoons. It's like, you could be anything you want to be. Let's be honest. We all know that's bullshit. You could be anything you really, really want to be if you put your mind to it. But you have to be realistic. So if you're just like not good at school, your grades suck, chances of you being a brain surgeon are slim to none. Now, is it impossible? Absolutely not, because again, this is on the fence. People say people can't change. I've seen people change. Can people change their way of thinking and their lifestyle and their belief system and do things? Of course they can. If you want it bad enough. So keep going back in your mind during this conversation of the things that you actually one day woke up and said, I really want that. And magically things lined up for you. The right person came, like let's say for example, I really want to go to a concert. Let's make it simple. I want to go to a concert. And a lot of people say that. Oh, I would love to go see the Who in concert. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. Did you look up to see tickets? Did you find out if they're even on tour in your area? Are they on tour? Do you know anybody who may go? Because see, the thing is, when you put the energy out there, like, wow, I really want to do this. A lot of people are going to listen to it and go, that's, he's full of shit. You know what, honestly, because I've proven it to the point that I've mystified myself. And it's given me goosebumps because I've put it out there like, wow, this is what I really, really want. And within 24 hours, I'm bumping into someone who either has an extra set of tickets or basically would like to invite me. Or, there's 101 things. And it always blows my mind. And I'm always so appreciative to the universe for doing that, because it has proven itself time and time again that when you want something bad enough, you can get it. But it's your belief structure. The right way to change a limiting belief system is to convince your conscious mind logically to accept it so that it can pass to the conscious mind and stay there. So think about that. So what you're really trying to do is convince your subconscious mind that this is the way it is. So I want to do something. I really believe that I can do it, but I'm not really sure I can do it because I'm not sure if I even believe in myself, and I don't have faith in myself, and I think I'm a loser. And I listen to my parents. My parents, all they care about is the basic things in life, and they think that my dreams are foolish and blah, 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 blah. You're not going to make it. Quick story. When I was 13 years old, I wanted to get into music business. Couldn't play keyboards, couldn't play anything. Didn't know how to do anything. So brought it to my parents, and that was a generation of Sikorsky, basically working for a factory. My father, he comes from the old school. Get a job at a factory, work at a factory. That's what you should do. The idea of going to work for 23 years at the same place basically sounded as interesting as me just wanting to shoot myself in the face. So I kind of started talking to people, and it started with me going to a music store nearby here, my home. And I started talking to the musicians there. And it was fascinating because I didn't know what the hell anything was. But I surrounded myself with them. I'd hang out with them. There was a few times on Saturdays I actually brought them coffee and would just basically hang out and pick at their brains and try to figure out how they did what they did and what they did. And so, I'll never forget this. I went on and bought a basic system, which at my time for like dance music was a tone generator, a keyboard, a drum machine, and a sequencer. Boom, never forget that. Shows you how much it meant to me. And it was basic, super basic equipment. And I took it home, and I basically looked like a monkey just beating on a machine. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But because now I had the equipment, I really had something to talk about with the guys at the shop. So I would go there again on the weekends and be like, hey, yeah, so this, and that. And I'll be very honest with you, most of it was lies or exaggerations, but that whole thing, fake it till you make it, it's true. It's totally true, because you are convincing your subconscious mind, I can do this. And then if you get really good at it, you're at the point that I am doing this. So they started giving me tidbits. They were telling me tricks and tips and who to talk to and what to follow and what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And I started doing it. And it just got to the point that it was like, all right, this is now I know this is what I want to do with my life. So I actually ended up going to music school. I got a scholarship to go to. I went to music school in New York City. It was great. I went there and I actually graduated. Recording engineer. So like I walked out of there and I was like, this is what I'm doing. I created it. Basically manifested exactly what I wanted to do. So now here I am. I'm starting to actually produce some beats, basic stuff. So now my thing was, I'm tired, because at that time I was actually DJing, but it was like, I want to do more with my life. So what did I do? I started going to clubs, because my thing was like, it's logic. I was like, well, if this works and you create it and you believe it, you can make it happen. So I started going to clubs, but not to like go dance or pick up chicks, to figure out how the industry works. Who do you talk to? Who do you hang out with? What do you need to do? Surround yourself with that. So I started going to record stores. And for those of you who don't know what a record is, basically like vinyl. I started going to record stores in New York, Rock and Soul, Vinyl Mania, Sonic Groove, Downtown Records, and I would hang out at them. Now that may sound weird to a lot of you, but in record stores back then, what they would do is have like a DJ booth in the back where they had a resident DJ playing different records, whatever you would choose. So you could just go up to the wall, pick something, and tell him, and he'd play it for you so you could hear it. Usually on a Saturday, you'd have a record store with probably like 4 to 5 deep of like DJs just standing there with their record bags, listening to records, wanting to see what they could pick up for their next cassette or their next show or whatever. I saw this. I did what they do. I left there, went down to Carmine Street, where there was this shop that sold bags, and I actually bought myself a record bag. And I started carrying records. Sounds silly, but it's actually not. Basically, think of it as like a messenger bag. What DJs would do is, it was big enough for a 12-inch record, and everybody carried one. So what did I do? I went and purchased one, and I still have it somewhere. But I bought it, and I went right back to the store again, and I hung out there because I wanted to be like them. I wanted to follow what they did, how they acted, and I would watch their actions, because I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to get more into like serious production, maybe one day even having a record, to the point that I would actually, on a record, the little center label, I actually would cut out a piece of paper and put it on there, and it would say my record company's name, my name, mixed by, produced by, and it was complete bullshit. But it was something that I created so that I could see it constantly and believe it, that I could do this. That's me. So once again, people would think, yeah, the regular person would be like, he's fucking insane. No. What I am is I'm creating that world that I'm in, that it's happening already. So I started going to these record stores, and I started hanging out every freaking weekend, and I started talking to these other DJs and finding out who's a resident here and who's a resident there. And it got to the point that I would walk into these stores and they actually started knowing me, and even setting records aside for me based on my style, thinking that I was who knows who. And at that point I wasn't, but I created that, and I kept convincing. Basically, now I can look back and go, I was convincing my subconscious mind that this is what I do, this is what I'm already doing, and I loved it. I'm gonna hit on a few different topics when it comes to manifestation, so that basically, if one doesn't work for you, maybe the other will, because I really want this to happen for you, whatever it is you so choose. One of them is, understand that praying, when you pray for something, you're putting yourself in a state of subservience. So it's like, please give me what I want. Please do this. Please do that. So you've submitted to a force that in your mind you have no control over the end result. Even God says, ask and you shall receive. But at the same time, remember, he also says God helps those that help themselves. Quite a contradiction. But it does make sense to manifest, and just wanting it may not be enough. So you have to surround yourself, like me at the record store. You have to surround yourself with what you want, with the lifestyle you wish to be a part of. You should constantly read listings, checking out, like let's say for example, a house. I want to purchase a house. So every day I walk around and tell people, I want a house, but I'm not doing anything for it. So I sit there, I'm just going to pray. Please God, give me a house. Well, first off, let me give you a little tidbit, a side note that works for me. Whenever I pray, I actually never say, please give me this. What has always worked for me, and surprisingly, I've always been blessed to have most of it actually granted to me, and if it wasn't, I understood later on why, is I would always say, if it is meant for me, please give it to me. I want a motorcycle. I would love a motorcycle. One of those nice cruisers, big tire in the back. I think that would be awesome. But now here's the thing. Instead of saying, hey, I really want a motorcycle. I want a motorcycle. I deserve a motorcycle. I should have one. What works for me, and I've actually gotten most of what I wanted, is I will say, listen, when I pray, or whatever you do, whoever you pray to, if you do ask for something, I put it out there to the universe and say, listen, this is something I really want. Motorcycle, new house, new relationship, whatever. But if you feel that I'm not worthy of it, or it may hurt me or hurt someone else, or I'm just not ready for it right now, then please make me understand that it's not ready for me, and I will be fine with it. I will understand it. I can think of about 10 things in my life, major things that I wanted, that I might not have gotten them exactly how I wanted, or when I wanted, but either I ended up getting them later on in life, and I understood why, or I didn't get them at all, and I still understood why. It wasn't like I was just being a greedy person, like, fuck this, I really want that, how come I don't? No, I was like, oh, okay, that works out. And that has happened to me many times, on many occasions, and it's made perfect sense. So that works for me. The other thing is, and this is something that I've heard other people talk about, and it works, it's true, is sacrifice. There is a belief structure that when you really want something, you should give something up. You should sacrifice something. So for example, if I'm willing to say, like, I really want to be able to do something or receive something, I will show the universe that I'm willing to surrender something. So for example, this weekend, there's a baseball game that I was planning on going to, and it means the world to me. I've been wanting to go for it, but I really want this other thing. So I will tell the universe, I really want this other thing, and I really also want this. So how about this? I'm going to take the tickets for this game, give them to somebody as a gift, and I'm going to go this weekend where I should be at the game, and I'm going to donate my time to like a rescue, or I'm going to spend time with like a family member that I just don't like. I mean, I know this sounds weird, but you're sacrificing. And the thing is, the universe knows this. The universe picks up on that. It knows that you're willing to sacrifice things that you really want. Now, this doesn't mean that you're just going to sacrifice something you don't really care about and then try to play the game. Don't fuck with the universe, because the universe knows. You sacrifice things. That is something else that I've done. And this isn't, you don't have to go crazy, but it's just simple things. And that's actually a belief structure a lot of people follow, and it works for them. I've done it. But when you do that, it works out. It really does. It's a give and take with the universe. Again, some people believe that, some people don't, but it seems to have worked. It seems to have worked for quite a few people I know personally. So that's just something you can try. Now, I want to explain to you back to manifesting and how you convince your subconscious, because I know that's going to be the biggest thing. But understand, convincing your subconscious is like brushing your teeth. How often do you actually think to yourself how to brush your teeth? You just do it. And that's how you got to get with your subconscious, to that point that you believe something so much. You've heard the whole thing, lie till you believe your lies. It's true. And one way you can do that is, let's try these experiments. I have a few experiments. I want you to try these things. Again, call me crazy. They may work for some, they may not. I've actually, I didn't create these experiments. They were things that I actually picked up on, and they were by a lot of people that believe in them. So number one is, ever notice when you purchase something or show real interest in something that it now seems to pop up everywhere, like that new car. You decide you want a new car, it's a car you think nobody else has it, it's really cool, and all of a sudden you buy it and you see them everywhere. That's actually something that we've all done. It works. All of a sudden you see it. A good example is my girlfriend's mom. She has a Volkswagen Bug, and it's a green one. And the funny thing is, I've never seen that car before. I mean, I've seen the Volkswagen Bug, obviously, but her kind of car, her color. All of a sudden, she gets the car, I see them everywhere. It's just that connection. And it's one of those things that people are like, well, I don't understand. Like, what does that do anything? It's like, well, you're manifesting it. You're seeing it so much that you bring it into mind, and now you really see it daily. It's just, it's a fascinating experiment to do. So let's say, for example, pick something. Pick a blue car, pick a balloon, roses, and after you pick the object, set a date and time to end your experiment, and really keep your eyes open for that object. So for example, think of a balloon and visualize that balloon. If you have a laptop or computer, make it your wallpaper. And I guarantee you, when you start seeing that every time you open your computer and you see that blue, let's say blue balloon, you see the blue balloon, and you see it constantly. When you go out to the mall or wherever, you will start seeing them because you are manifesting it. Something that you're creating in your mind that you will see it all the time, and you're putting it into your subconscious mind. Odd? Try it. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't, but it doesn't hurt. Another experiment, which is pretty simple, is just asking. Ask the universe or whomever you wish to ask or even pray to. Maybe a saint, whoever. Maybe you use a novena prayer. And I mean, my ex-mother-in-law swore by them. They actually used to have them in the local paper that you could pay for like a week's period. And what they do is they put a prayer in, and you say that prayer every single day for a week. You've all heard that, hopefully. And it works. I've actually done that too. There was a job I wanted many, many years ago, and she came to me and she's like, do a novena. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. I got the job. Now, everything is a matter of opinion. I did it. It worked. And I really believe a lot of it has to do with manifestation. I was at that job. I was working at that job. I saw myself eating lunch at that job. But again, I would actually say to the universe, if this job is meant for me, fine. If it's not, then I don't want it. Please bring me another job. Well, I got the job. And I really believe it had a lot to do with that novena. So maybe that's what you do. But in this experiment, it's simple. Say to the universe what you want, and just put it out there. See how long it takes to get. Now, mind you, of course, a lot of you aren't going to get it, but it's proof that if you really want something. So if you say to yourself, oh, I really want that, a red car, and then you stop thinking about it for the next 2 weeks, and then you don't get it, makes kind of sense why you didn't. But if you surround yourself with this thing, with photos, and you tell yourself, this is what you want, this is what you want, this is what you want. You put a picture on your refrigerator, you put a picture on your wallpaper. At least for me, and I give you my word, it's worked over and over and over to the point that, again, I'm humbled by it. And I always find myself lighting candles, not asking, but thanking for appreciation, because there's just been things that I've asked for that I've gotten. And some maybe took 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But I've sooner or later have gotten them that I've never forgotten. And it's because I really feel the universe was like, he's deserving of this. He's sacrificed for this. He believes in this. And I've gotten it. Last experiment is actually very easy. It's just a cutoff date, quick. I want something by this Saturday. Maybe 48 hours from now. But be realistic. $1 million by 4 on Friday is stupid. But a callback for a job by the end of this week is about being realistic. Make sure you put out some applications, obviously. So like sitting there and knowing that, well, I want a job at the new casino that's opening up, but I'm not even going to take a drive up there is kind of fucking pointless. So I want a job at the casino. I go up there. I put in applications. Now I go there and I hang out there and I talk to the people serving drinks. I talk to management. And I go back and I show them interest. I'm manifesting what I want. It will work. And chances are, unless the universe is like, abso-fucking-lutely not, because he's going to lose his mind working at a casino, become an alcoholic, and basically gamble his life away, it may not happen. But at that point is when you find out that a week later you ended up getting a job for a factory nearby, which was making twice the amount of money and it's something even better. Hopefully you're smart enough to go, holy crap, this was supposed to happen. I asked for that, and instead I got something better. And at that point is when you shouldn't forget and never take it for granted and be appreciative. You go, thank you for getting me something even better than what I originally wanted. Because that's another thing people tend to do, is forget and say thank you. Try those. Again, there's no guarantee, as they always say, for entertainment purposes only. But the bottom line is, it's putting you in a better frame of mind, and not only just believing in yourself, but really analyzing what it is you want to do with your life. What it is that would really make you happy. Not over the next 30 seconds or 3 hours, but 6 months, 6 years, 10 years. Like, what are your goals in life? You know, do you see yourself going back to school? Do you see yourself getting a better job? There's a lot of people that we know of are in these jobs. They're like, well, I have a job and the job sucks, so go do something else. Oh, like it's that easy. Actually, it is. Because, again, I've seen people in a job for 10 years be miserable. And I've been blessed to be a part of this and sat with them and told them, like, hey, listen, put the energy out there. Like, decide what you really want to do in life. Get out there, do something. And all of a sudden, they're putting out applications. Before you know it, they bump into somebody that weekend at a pharmacy that was a boss that left his job and he started his own business. And before you know it, you're offered another job. Why? Because you put the initiative and you told the universe, I'm actually really unhappy. I really want to leave. And it will move mountains. Ask yourself now, what is stopping you from getting what you want? Is it your psychology? Is it just something with your neurosis? Your conditional programming? Self-doubt? How about a lack of self-belief? It puts up a wall in front of you that you just cannot break down. But you don't realize it's imaginative. It's bullshit. It's walls that we create. That's why sometimes you wake up, you're in a good mood, and you can take on the world. Other times you wake up and it's just like you want to kill yourself. You create your misery. And it's just something that, it's horrible to see people do this, to see people spend most of their lives miserable for absolutely no reason. While then you bump into the person right next door who's living their life. They're in a great relationship. They have great kids. They have a great career. They travel. They do things. They love their life. Now, this doesn't mean new toys and luxuries. I'm talking about like actually loving life, like actually being in a great relationship with someone who is more than a romantic person, but like a friend. Because there's nothing better than being with somebody who is a good friend, because that's very special. But going back, this has to do with you really believing in what you want. I cannot stop saying that over and over and over. If I go out right now and I talk to 10 people are going to tell me about bullshit they want. I'm talking about really thinking it through, deciding I really hate my job. I really hate my home. This isn't what I want. But here's the thing, continuing to repeat that and ponder that over and over and over is actually negative. It's actually you're gonna continue to keep that because you're putting that into your mind of what you hate and what you don't want. Understand? So what you need to do is what you do want. Love what you have for now. Be appreciative of what you have. And if you have a shitty car, at least you have a car. All you can afford is McDonald's, at least you can afford some food. Show the universe that you're appreciative of what you have. But now tell it, this is what I'm ready for. This is what I want. And if it's for me, please give it to me. Sacrifice will clear the barriers because the universe will never reward a selfish person. Now, a lot of people might think, yeah, but there's a lot of people out there who are rich and have everything who are complete assholes and get everything they want. I would rather be poor and be with somebody that I truly love and makes me happy than have all the money in the world and be surrounded by no one. So, and obviously there are people who have all the money in the world who are surrounded by people. But then you'd find out that those people end up being super humanitarians and really love and want to give back. So there's a difference there. So you give, you take, you give. That's the way life is. And that's the way you should treat the universe. It will only reward an exchange of energy. Think about that. The universe will only reward an exchange of energy. You give, you take, you give. Don't beg, okay, because that's just horrible. Just place it out there and see it. Feel it in your soul. Now, don't be greedy, because you may get it, but it may not be as cut and dry as you wish. So be careful with what you ask for, because chances are you're going to get it. I've done this over and over and over. I'm almost 50. So I'm like halfway through life. And I look back at a lot of things that, I really wanted. And now I realize, and it's like, I almost don't even remember those things. Because I really didn't want them. They were just fads. They were just what the Joneses had. Fuck the Joneses. The things that I really wanted, I did receive. And for that, I thank the universe. And I'm very appreciative of everything that I've received in my life. Be careful what you ask for, because you may get it. This is the Buddhist Witch.